Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today, as promised, we are going back to Minmus.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
We're going to deliver a rover there, and with it we will be able to get signs from at least couple of biomes and return it back home. Not only we will get signs, but we will also prove that rovers are viable and we can put them on other orbital bodies. Maybe in future we will be able even to combine rovers and planes. Who knows? So our ship is ascending as intended. As you can see, we are using not a single engine, but we are abusing very little rockets to make sure that we have enough thrust and our ISP is good. The only problem with these engines is that they provide very disturbing sounds and it is not really nice to listen. But we can lower the volume of the video and make sure it's not bad. So let's do the usual maneuver of changing our inclination, and as you can see, we're actually always firing in opposite direction to the nodes and not firing prograde but retrograde. Why is that? It's because our capsule is actually located upside down and the computer thinks that we are using the engines on the lander module. I of course could have changed it, but then I would have to use the retrograde maneuvers when landing, and that wouldn't be nice, so I decided to keep it that way. And we are almost in the orbit, and because of the little mistake our ship is spinning uncontrollably. I forgot to turn on one of the engines, and yeah, but we can easily fix it. And I decided that it would be worth to just reload because we already lost lots of fuel and it's just not worth to continue that way. So here we go. Our encounter with Minmus is ready. And here we are in the orbit, or not yet in orbit, but we are in the sphere of influence of Minmus. All we have to do now is change our inclination and get into the actual orbit. So let's do that. Nice. And let's travel to the periapsis, where we will be able to turn retrograde and burn. And the ship doesn't want to comply because I forgot to turn off the docking mode, and I was thinking, what the hell? But then I realized what the mistake is. And here we are in the orbit. Now we're going to lower our periapsis and apoapsis until we find a suitable spot to land, and we are going to do exactly that. Land. Okay, our orbit is approximately 33 or 37 kilometers. So let's continue to land. This looks perfect. Although we already landed in the same biome, we haven't took any measurements like gravitational data and seismic data, so we shall still be able to get a lot of science out of it. And we are carefully burning upwards to make sure that we are not falling and crashing down. $250 meters, 200, 100. Careful, careful, and touchdown. Now we're going to leave our lander here, or rover, and we're going to carefully lift off and move a little bit to the side, because otherwise, as it turned out, the rover can't actually drive out. It is a little bit hard to control and it doesn't want to drive straight. So yeah, but we can fix that easily. Alright, let's take science, let's extend solar panels and start doing the experiments. Apparently we already had temperature readings, but that's okay. Now let's use Gemini and transfer all the science out of here in the command module. This is actually the new feature of 2.3, and before we couldn't do that and we had to bring the scientific modules back with us to have science. But now we can simply move the data from the experiment and back to the module. And here we were traveling approximately 5 to 6 kilometers to the nearest biome to get more science. Okay, we are in Highlands. Cool. So let's continue gathering data. And apparently we had some fly time here, so thermometer decided that we are over Minmus, but that's okay. So now we have to turn around, carefully turn around, because this thing just wants to tip over and die. And as you can see, we already lost one of the solar panels due to unfortunate accident which happened during the braking maneuver. But because we have redundancy and we have more solar panels than we will ever need, it's all fine. Alright. So we are moving approximately in the same direction where the ship is. So let's use the magical time warp provided by the video editing software. And here we are, almost back at the spaceship. All we have to do now is slow down. Hopefully it will not tip over. And now we have to gather all of our science and get it back into the command module. Just like that. Let's review our experiments and continue with our roving mission. This time we are trying to get to slopes biome, and we'll have to travel additional 5 to 6 kilometers. And here we are in the slopes biome. Let's grab all the science that we can and do the same magical trick again when we are returning back. Ta-da! Alright, I think this is going to be the last science thingy we've done with this vessel. Of course we can do more, but it will take approximately 1 hour of travel time until the next biome, and that's just too long and is not worth it. So we have 12 experiments. We're also going to get some science for recovery of the vessel. Let's return home. As usual, I've miscalculated an amount of fuel needed. I was thinking that when we are going to return, we will have to ditch those lander legs with lander engines, and we'll be using only the middle part. But as it turned out, we actually don't even need this middle part. So I could have done it a bit lighter, but that's okay. It could have been much worse, because it's always better to have more fuel than not to have any fuel when you need it. And here we are, approaching Kerbal, 270, 140, 60, 50 kilometers away. And we are burning nicely in the atmosphere. Let's deploy a parachute somewhere around 5,000 or 4,000, because it doesn't really make much difference with the real parachutes mod. It will slow you down no matter what you do. Except, of course, if you open it somewhere around 100 meters away from the ground, then it will not have enough time. Alright, and here we are, back on Kerbal. And our mission provided us with 882 signs, and in total we now have 16 signs. That means that we can open 2 nodes of the latest tier, and it is probably going to be mainsail engines and the latest electrical technology, so that we can ditch solar panels finally and use their RTGs, which are much more efficient and take less place, and also are not breaking off in the atmosphere. A great success or improvement. Alright, so let's take the RTGs and mainsails. And it is that time on the episode where I have to say thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike and comment this video in the section below. Also, if you think that you like what you see, consider pressing share button. And let all your friends on Facebook and Twitter know that there is this video which you really liked or maybe hated, and you want all your friends to hate it too. So do that. In future episodes, we are going to continue our career and use these newest parts to get our Kerbals somewhere interesting and dangerous. But until then, my name is Darwok, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.